Hello and welcome back to Coffee Nick's Movie Picks, a bold blend of coffee and movie review podcasting. My name is Nick Delaney and I am your show host, coffee and movie reviewer, and the guy who still knows the lyrics to several Minecraft parody songs from YouTube circa 2013. In today's episode, we are crafting a respectful yet stern discussion of the highly anticipated A Minecraft Movie. We'll be enjoying this block talk, if you will, over a black and yellow from Royal in Washington, D.C. Everyone, please take a seat, stay a while, and let's talk movies over some coffee. Everyone, hello. Wow, it has been a while, I feel. The past few episodes that I've had have all been like pre-recorded, so it's been a while since I've had a moment to just like be with you guys now in the present. So what have I been up to? A lot. I had the flu last week, which was not fun, but I'm all better now. And once I got better, my seasonal allergies kicked in very badly. So if you notice my voice is more sultry and sexier than usual, that might be why. What else have I been up to? I've been gearing up to go on vacation. Next week, I'm going to West Palm Beach, which if you listen to my podcast about a year ago, I was at West Palm Beach then as well. And that's where I had Subculture Coffee Roasters, which is, I'm pretty sure, my coffee house of the year from last year. So I'm very excited to go back there. In terms of like media that I've currently been enjoying, I've been reading the Hunger Games book, the new Hunger Games book, Sunrise on the Reaping, and I've been having a wonderful time with that. I love when a prequel or sequel subverts my expectations. You think you know everything about Haymitch, you think you know everything about his games. This book comes around and shows you that, wow, there is really so much you did not know. And I love Suzanne Collins is such a great author, and she only writes when there is a need to write. And that's something that I really appreciate about her. But yeah, this book is incredible, and I've been so shocked and surprised about so many different things, and I'm only like 100 pages in right now, so I know there is a lot more to happen. I haven't even gotten to the actual Hunger Games yet, so yeah, I'm excited about that, and I'm very excited about this movie that's going to be coming out soon as well. Other than that, I've really just been watching some shows. I have been continuing to watch Sex and the City. I don't know if that's something that I've talked about yet on here, but I am in love with Sex and the City right now. This is my first time watching it. I am at, I think, season 3. And I know I'm about to get a lot of hate for this, but Carrie Bradshaw is my favorite out of the 4, I think. I love all of them dearly, but I think I relate to Carrie Bradshaw the most, especially as someone who is working in media. Yeah, and who has like little journalism moments of my life. Yeah. Other than that, I recently, as in like right before I started recording this, watched the first episode of X-Files. I've had like a little bit of a Twin Peaks craving, and I know that a lot of people that enjoy Twin Peaks also enjoy X-Files, so I thought I'd give it a try. And the first episode, that's some really good television. So trust, and I love the two main characters. So trust that I'll be returning to that. We'll just see when. I don't like watching multiple TV shows at once, so we'll see what I stick with. Enough of this. Let's get to why we're here. We have some business to get to. This is serious, dire business. So let's get on it. Our first segment is the Now Brewing, and this is a luxury coffee discussion and review segment. Now brewing in today's episode is the Black and Yellow from Royal in Washington, D.C. What does all of that mean, I wonder? I'm so glad you asked. What is Royal? So Royal is a bar slash kitchen slash coffee shop It's all of those things. To be more specific, it is a coffee shop by day and a bar and kitchen by night. Although you can order stuff from the kitchen during the day. I don't know if you can order coffee at night though. You'd have to go there and ask them in person. But Royal is located in the LeDroit Park neighborhood in Washington, D.C. And in case you don't know where that neighborhood is, that is sort of like at the end of U Street towards Rhode Island Avenue. So it's right like in between U Street and Bloomingdale. This is a Michelin award winning establishment. Isn't that cool? I don't know what specific Michelin awards it's won. It might just even be Michelin recognized. I don't know if it's officially received an award. I just know I went to their website and they had little Michelin things all over it, so you know it's good. But don't let that intimidate you from going here, even though it is a Michelin recognized establishment. I thought the prices were reasonable for the quality that you were getting. And this is still like a coffee shop. This is not like a super fancy 5 course meal, sit down, put the napkin on your lap sort of place, which that's what I think of when I think of like a Michelin restaurant. This is right in my neighborhood, right by my neighborhood. And this was my first time going. They serve counterculture coffee, which a lot of places in this area do, and it is delicious. And the inside of Royal is just freaking lovely. It is so beautiful inside this place. There's so much decor. There's a lot of like little tiny attention to detail decorations. I just really loved it. I loved the atmosphere of this place. It felt like you were not in DC anymore. It just was very cozy. The food smelled amazing. I didn't have any food, but it smelled so good. The staff was really nice. It was a great place to work at during the day, which I was nervous about that too. Like working from home from like a Michelin coffee shop. I didn't know how that would work, but it was perfect. And I can't wait to work from home again here again soon. Wow, that did not make sense. um, but yes, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful interior. And to speak on what I ordered from here a little bit more, I purchased the black and yellow. What is that, you may ask? That is an iced blend of espresso and homemade lemonade. Now, working at a specific corporate coffee shop for some period of time, I was familiar with the concept of this drink. I've heard of it before, and I know the coffee place that I was working at was trying to adopt it. And it failed horribly. No one bought this drink at that coffee shop. And I was kind of wondering, I was like, if I'm going to try this drink, there is no better place than right here at like a Michelin recognized restaurant. So I got it. Did I even say? Yes, I did. I did say what this drink was. Um, and I was right. I was right. This drink was so delicious. It was sour, it was sweet, it was citrusy, and it was just delicious and unique. And this is the perfect pick me up, especially as we go into the summer months. This is like a perfect drink for the summer. And I think that there are so many factors that come into play here when crafting this drink. One of them is the espresso, and the other one is the lemonade. The two ingredients are the factors, of course. I'm really onto something tonight. I'm really onto something. But I think it is very purposeful. I think that the lemonade is an extra sweet lemonade. And if I think of the lemonade at the coffee place that I worked at, it was an extra tart lemonade. And you kind of need like an extra sweet lemonade to counteract the sometimes like tartness and the acidic nature of like an espresso. For like a tart espresso to go with a tart lemonade, you almost need like a creamer in there. But this one, the lemonade balanced out the espresso perfectly. This did not need any sort of creamer. It was so delicious. This drink was perfect. I cannot wait to get it again. Yeah, this is just the Michelin experience that I was promised. And I can't wait to go back here and try their food as well, because when I say that food as it came out of the kitchen was smelling good, I, in my heart of hearts, mean that. Like, I felt like cartoon characters smelling the pies, like lifting up in the air, It smelled so good. And possibly my favorite thing about this coffee shop is one of their rules. They state there are plaques all around the store that say that computers and work has to be put away by 5 p.m. on weekdays and 11 a.m. on weekends. I love that. I love that. Something that I think is very important about any coffee shop is connection. And it's being in the moment with the people you are with, or in just the place that you're in. And so I really like that this place encourages you to be present by putting away your work. There are different settings if you need to get work done, quote unquote, after hours. There are settings for that, but they're just saying that this is not one of those settings. And I really do appreciate that about this place. That they just want people to be present in the moment, living life, laughing, loving, being in the big city, c'est la vie, It's lovely, it's fun, it's fresh. I'm all here for it. So Royal, the black and yellow, I give you the Nick pick. I I enjoyed the black and yellow so much that right afterwards I also ordered a cold brew, because I was like, okay, this place is too good to be true. I need to try their cold brew because that's how I judge every coffee shop. And the cold brew was also really good. So this is, I can certifiably say that Royal is a good coffee shop. And I'm very happy to have it so close by to my house. Okay, as I stated, there is a lot to discuss in this episode, so moving right on ahead. Our next segment is the coffee thought, and this is an outlet dedicated to voicing my many incoherent thoughts over a lovely cup of coffee. Seeing how it is 9 p.m. at night right now, I do not have a cup of coffee with me, but what I do have is a glass of Charles Shaw Cabernet Sauvignon. Is that how you say it? Cab Sav. That's what I call it. Red wine, $2 chug from Trader Joe's, which is now $5. This is my go-to red wine. I love a cheap red wine, especially at nighttime while talking in front of a microphone. There is nothing better. Gonna take a sip of that now. One thing that has been sort of major, groundbreaking in my world that I did not mention in my little opening to this episode was that not one, but two Nintendo Directs have happened since I last recorded an episode for this show. Anytime one Nintendo Direct happens, it's monumental for me. It's something very spiritual and life-changing. To have two Nintendo Directs happen in back-to-back weeks, what's more than life-changing? What's more than groundbreaking? I don't know. Earth-shattering. Just huge. This is huge. So the first one, and as you all know, I am a big Nintendo fan. Nintendo for me is one of my great interests. It's one of my greatest escapes from the real world. I enjoy just everything Nintendo very deeply. The first Direct was focused on Switch 1 games, and the second Direct was focused on Nintendo Switch 2 games. The first one, I have to say, I'm not a Rhythm Heaven fan, And I'm not a Tamagotchi Life fan, mainly because I've never played either of those games. So, like, I feel like you had to be a fan of one of those two things or both of those things to really love that direct. But I am a massive Metroid fan. So, seeing like a full gameplay reveal of Metroid Prime 4 was incredible. And I was living for that. And Samus's psychic abilities, that stuff looks so cool. I am so seated for that. Uh, that trailer, it really did not show you much about the game. It was funny how they're like, Samus's psychic ability lets you open doors. It's like, oh my God, we can open doors now. Um, but I I just love Metroid. Samus looks so good. She really like she shows up and is always serving every single game. Every single game she brings a new outfit, a new suit of armor, and she is looking like such a baddie. And in this one, she has like a little psychic third eye gemstone on her forehead, which looks so cool. And her visor is purple now. And then, which I'm pretty sure it's been purple before, but and at the very end of the trailer, they did like a reveal of, I guess it's like her ultimate suit in the game, because as you get like different abilities, your suit changes just a little. So this was like an entirely new suit that we were seeing. It looked so cool. One of my Nintendo like vloggers that I like, Arlo, he was saying that every time you see like a new Samus suit, it's like holding a newborn child, like your newborn baby in your arms for the first time. And that's how I feel every time I see like a new Metroid Samus suit. I feel like I'm holding a newborn baby in my arms. Like it is magical. It's life changing. So that was a big moment during week 1. Week 2, I wasn't quite sure how blown away I was going to be. Um, but then I saw that the direct was going to be 60 minutes long. And I was like, oh, I'm going to be blown. That did not. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. I'm going to be blown so far away. Right out of the gate, they showed Mario Kart World, which I don't know how to feel about that. Mario Kart World, that is the type of thing that if I'm going to get a Nintendo Switch 2, I'm going to get Mario Kart World. But and I'm gonna need to play it to know how I feel about it. Like anything I see about it, I don't know what to think. Which I know there's gonna be a Mario Kart World Direct happening in 2 weeks, a week and a half, I think. So maybe I just need to wait and see what they're gonna show during that. But it looks just so unreal in a way. Like there's Mario Kart characters like stacking burgers, and you can like wall jump and you can grind on a rail. And everything is different and it's completely open world. And like, I always wanted to play as sort of the weird characters, like one of the Super Mario Sunshine people. What are they called? The Delfinos? I think the Delfinos. I always wanted to play as one of them. I always wanted them to put a Goomba in the game and like see it drive with its feet or something ridiculous. But to see a crab, a dolphin, the cow, the Moo Moo Meadows cow, to see like one of those birds with the long neck, to see all of them as playable characters, I'm almost like, is this too much? You know? I'm almost wondering, is it too much? And I just don't know how to feel about it. Like, I would have been okay if they sort of just joked around and added a Goomba or something. But to see the dolphin just like floating above a cart, I'm like, I don't know about that. I don't know. Maybe it's too much. Maybe they're trying to add too much. when I was thinking about like what could they do to even expand on Mario Kart, I was like, they almost have to be more focused about it. And they have to be like, ooh, let's add like a story mode and let's make it very linear and focused on like single player rather than multiplayer. And they did almost the exact opposite here. And they were like, "Ooh, let's make a Mario Kart that is like the largest one ever, and it's completely open, and you can play as any character from any Mario game ever." It's a lot, and I think when I finally play this game, when I finally get to play it, it will answer the question: is less really more when it comes to video games? Can less be more when it comes to video games? Moving forward in this Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, everything about the Switch 2 itself, I am very sat for. As someone who is a casual gamer, I think that like the quality of games I've been playing on my current Switch has been perfect. But to hear that they are adding like 4K, 60 frames per second, all of that crazy stuff, that's wonderful. Whatever they need to do to stay competitive, I'm all here for it. The whole game chat thing and like the C button, cool. I think that's cool. I once they showed that to us and like told us about that, I was like, okay, so I'm never gonna use that. But I think that it's cool that it's there, and especially for like younger people, that's a great way to socialize and like hang out with friends. For a lot of Switch games, like I like to play them when I'm FaceTiming someone, especially Mario Kart. So yeah, it's cool that they almost like built in FaceTime to their system. All of the third party things that they announced for Switch 2, I think are fantastic. This will be a great opportunity for me to play like Cyberpunk, Borderlands 4, Elden Ring, the Yakuza games, Hitman. Like, there are so many games they announced. I was like, oh, great. Like, I finally will have an excuse to play it. And then I'm saving one specific announcement for last, the Donkey Kong game. I am so sad for that. I'm so sad for that. I was predicting going into this that there would be a Donkey Kong game because of all the Donkey Kong propaganda we've been getting recently. We got that shitty Donkey Kong Country Returns port that was bad. So I was like, why did they do that? They're trying to like force Donkey Kong on us. And then we got the whole Donkey Kong like Nintendo World land. I think all paths have been leading to this Donkey Kong game. I'm very excited about it. I think it looks wonderful and magnificent. It's sort of in like the Super Mario Odyssey art style, which is magical. I love it. It looks so cool. I just I think I'm most excited about that game, the Donkey Kong game. And I'm gonna say it. I love Donkey Kong's new art style. I am so open to any character getting a redesign, especially Donkey Kong. And it wasn't until seeing this new character design that I was like, wow, his old design was really limiting. Like he couldn't show that much emotion or have certain expressions. So I like it. I think it's wonderful. Even if it's just around for one game, I think that's fine. If it's around for multiple games, which it looks like it will be, that's great. I'm all about it. The last announcement that I wanted to talk about that I just was floored by is Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. I love the Hyrule Warriors games. I've never played any other like of the Warriors games, just the Legend of Zelda related ones. They are so much fun. The original Hyrule Warriors, I was so into that game when I was a teenager. And for them to announce like years later Age of Calamity, which was kind of like a spin-off of Breath of the Wild, I was so shocked. I was like, wow, they're actually using like this weird, I don't know, side format of Legend of Zelda to like tell story through. And it was in the same art style and everything as Breath of the Wild, which was so cool. And for them to keep doing that, I'm so excited about that. I'm so glad that they're continuing it. I don't know what else to say besides that. I'm so happy. And that'll just about wrap up this coffee thought, I think, because I've been gabbing away for too long now. So moving ahead, sip of wine first. Our next segment is Now Showing. This is our feature ideological analysis and critical film review segment by yours truly. Now Showing, a Minecraft movie. When transported to a world made entirely out of blocks, an unlikely band of characters must help a man named Steve ward off the evil forces of the Nether using the power of crafting. A Minecraft movie is directed by Jared Hess and stars Jack Black as Steve and Jason Momoa as Garrett. It was released April 4th, 2025. Now, this movie, wow. Let's start off. Who am I as a Minecraft fan? And I am a Minecraft fan after all. My first experience playing Minecraft was on the iPad, like the portable version of it, whenever that was first released. When would that be? Wow, it was first released on November 17th, 2011. So that is the earliest I could have played it, and it probably was around that time. I remember, I think I was waiting for my parents. They were at the DMV, and I was waiting in the car, and I begged them to get it so that I could play it because I heard people talking about it. There were people in my like Cub Scouts group that were playing it. So I was dying to play it. I heard so much about it. I think I would have been 10 at the time. Yeah, I would have been 10. And from that moment on, it just sparked like a lifelong attachment to this video game. One that that I still have. Like, this is something that has never left my life since then. So it's been, what, 14 years that this has kind of been like in my life in some form or fashion. All throughout middle school, and most of high school, this is just something that I religiously played. It was something that I just sunk hundreds of hours into by myself, not even to mention the thousands of hours I probably spent with this with friends. Some of like my lifelong friendships, I think, were cemented in Minecraft. You know, people that I knew all my life, like leading up into this game's release, but like it was in like Xbox Live parties when we were playing on Minecraft that like I really our friendship like was officially established, and these are friends that I have and am very close with to this day, my best friends. There are so many memories I have in the world of Minecraft. Just so many like buildings that I made that I remember so vividly. I feel like there are just those certain worlds that I had that I know like the back of my hand to this day. Sometimes I like think about them and I miss them, honestly. Like I miss those days of Minecraft. Um, Later in my life, like right now, college years and a little bit afterwards, Minecraft wasn't like as prominent in my life as before, but it was always something I could return to. And they add a lot of stuff to Minecraft, and it's stuff that as just kind of like now a casual player, stuff that I don't really care too much about. Uh, it's still always a game though that I can pick up at any time and kind of know what to do and what's going on. So for that reason, I think it really is a game that will kind of stick with me my whole life. Just seeing like kids of today get so much enjoyment out of this game and still find so much value in it, it really speaks to how important this game is. These are kids that, I was their age when the game first came out and I first like became attached to it. And it is now, what did I say, 14 years later, and it still has the same effect for kids. That's incredible. And the thing is that like I think this game transcends age. Like you can play it for the first time at like my age at 24-ish, and it has that same effect on you, you know. It really, I truly believe that this is such a beautiful and powerful game that, I don't know, in some ways like encapsulates just like the human experience. Um, it's so unique, and there are a million copycats of this game, and none of them come remotely close to doing it like Minecraft does it. This game is just irreplaceable, and it is so valuable in our culture. Uh, I know this is like I'm serious about all of this. I know it sounds ridiculous to say all of this about Minecraft, especially because it was such a cultural phenomenon. But I think that I truly do believe that all of these things are true about the video game. So that's just to speak on what I think about the video game itself that this movie is based off of. I do have some fun facts about the movie. The concept of this film originated all the way back in 2014. So this was pretty close to like the beginning of the video game. And 2014, this would be right in the smack dab middle of when this game was just really popping off and like, you know, getting all the attention in the world. Um, but since 2014, this film swapped directors, producers, and story drafts many, many, many times. And it wasn't until about 2022 that this film became what it is now. It wasn't until then that it got attached to this director, that Jason Momoa came on board, who was one of the first actors to attach himself to this project. It wasn't until then that this was decided that this would be like the live action project that we saw it as today. So it was weird that this film was kind of like 10 years in the making. And Minecraft itself, like the property of Minecraft, changed so much since then. Um, so it really tells you like how difficult of a task it is to make a film adaptation of this video game. This movie, obviously, Minecraft means almost it could really mean an unlimited amount of different things to different people. Minecraft means, I mean, you heard what it means to me. It could mean truly anything to anyone. This game is the whole point of it. It is that it is whatever you make it to be. And there are so many things to make it to be. That is the whole point. How exactly do you adapt that into a movie? And with anything that has a concept as open as that, the task of adapting it into the film medium is nearly impossible. Well, the task of adapting it into a film medium and pleasing everyone is impossible. I will say that. So, with that, everyone has their own opinions and their own expectations going into this movie. Um, so the first trailer was released, and before that, they just announced, they kind of like dropped a bomb early on, that this movie would be live action, which immediately got a ton of reactions from people. And then the trailer came out, and people were even more so like, what the fuck is this? So at this moment in time, going into this trailer and everything, I actually really enjoyed that everything in that first initial trailer felt like, I don't know, one of those fake like fan made trailers that you would see on YouTube in like 2014. And it was very much, there's like this specific meme where it was like, this is what Minecraft would look like in real life. And it was like a hyper realistic cow, but it was made of blocks. That is exactly what this trailer felt like when I watched it for the first time. And I really liked that because it was almost kind of leaning into that like corny, 2014 like internet phenomenon context that Minecraft had. Um, so for those reasons, I didn't mind the stupidness and the silliness that this film was promising. I was in fact like looking really forward to it. I was like, oh, like I really want to relive like that 2014 cultural moment that I was a part of. Um, Watching this movie though, did I ever find it funny? No. And I think that is a problem when a movie leans into the stupid and the silly, but it's not funny. I think that's when a movie starts to have issues. I do not like the casting. I do not like the casting. I don't know what Jason Momoa was doing here. It just did not work. I love Jack Black. I think that he is a great actor to have in children's movies. I think he is endlessly entertaining. I think that's the point of Jack Black, is that he's just entertainment. But would I pick him to play Steve? I don't know. I don't know. And that's what I'm kind of saying, like you could have so many different expectations for this character that you really know nothing about. I just did not enjoy the casting at all. In getting into my experience watching this movie, I was really shocked by how much of this took place in the real world. There was so much time devoted to like developing these characters and what their lives were like in the real world, and I understand why this film did that, to kind of like explain the motivations of all these characters and to kind of give this movie a plot. But I there was a point in like the first act of this movie where I was like, this is supposed to be a Minecraft movie, right? Like there is Minecraft in this movie, because it just felt like there was so much time and attention dedicated to the real world here. Um, and I don't know. I think that good storytelling, your inciting incident, which would be these characters all somehow ending up in the world of Minecraft, your inciting incident, a quality of good storytelling is for that inciting incident to happen as close to the start of the movie as possible, if not have it be the start of the movie. And, you know, all the background of these characters, all the storytelling for these characters, the exposition, the whatever, that should happen after the fact. You should be able to tell the audience about that after the inciting incident. And you should be able to tell the audience about that through the choices that those characters make. And I know I'm going hard on my analysis of like how this story should have been, and it's a Minecraft movie. But I don't know. Like I think this should still be held to a higher standard. And you can tell a really silly, stupid story and still have it be a movie of quality. And speaking of that inciting incident, when they all end up in the world of Minecraft, I am utterly shocked by how bad this movie looked. I was so shocked, in fact, that I almost wished that the movie somehow found a way to take place in the real world, because the green screen, the visual effects, and the lighting of everything that happens in the world of Minecraft was so atrocious, in my opinion. The green screen, the the visuals of the green screen, the backgrounds and everything, there was almost not almost, there was no depth really, and I felt like the only depth they tried to give to like the settings that these characters were in was just by adding like a skyline behind them of like these Minecrafty looking mountains. But really there was no depth in the sense that there was none of these characters interacted with their surroundings. There was no attempts made to make the world of Minecraft feel like it was real. Like these characters were actually walking through that world. It was very much like they were just kind of standing there and the world was behind them. They were not a part of it at all. There was no interactions happening. It was just not at all believable to me. And this was not helped by the fact that this was some of the worst lighting that I think I've seen in recent history. Everything that happened in the world of Minecraft was the overworld, I think it's called, was incredibly backlit. So you could kind of see like the back of their heads were like very lit up, but then nothing in front of them was. And I think this was to simulate like the sun being behind them. But that's not how the sun works. Like just because your back is turned, like your back is turned to the sun, that doesn't mean that there is this like huge yellow light behind you and the entire front of you is cast in shadow. Like really there should have been some like white light still cast on these characters. Um, it was extremely distracting to me and it did not look believable at all, which is unfortunate because I feel like this in turn caused me to like not invest in what was happening in the Minecraft part of the story at all because I was so wrapped up in just like how I, I just didn't believe it and it just didn't feel real. I wasn't transported to this world at all. Um, yeah, it was extremely disappointing to me. Um, another issue that I had was I just feel like there was no variety in the Minecraft world. When I think of Minecraft, I think of all the different biomes that you go to. There's the winter one, there's the jungle one, there's the desert, the mushroom biome. There are so many different biomes to go to. And I feel like we just spent the whole movie in the grasslands and the nether, of course. And I just think that was such a lost opportunity. I don't know. I feel like this world was left so unexplored. And when you think about like when you first spawn into your Minecraft world, the only thing in your inventory is a map, a blank map. So like really the point of the game at the beginning is to fill the map in some way. And to explore and to see everything. And if you're on a stranded island, build a boat and travel through the ocean and try to find the next continent. I think the whole game is about exploration. And this did not tune into that at all. This kind of was like just about good versus evil and like, you know, I don't know. It just felt so out of touch from like what Minecraft should be to like the general audience of the game. Um, a lot of like recent Minecraft game entries have been very focused on the story. Like there's the Minecraft Dungeons game, I think. There's Minecraft Legends, there's all that stuff. And of course, that's more focused on story. And I feel like that this movie was more trying to do that than pay homage to the original game. So I don't know. I can't be the only one that was disappointed that that aspect of the game seemed like a little untapped. And for that reason, I just kept expecting more throughout the whole movie. Like it was building up to this huge war that these characters were having with like the Piglin army and everything. And I was kind of always thinking like, okay, when are they going to get to go explore the world? When are they going to go to the Ender or when are they going to like go cave diving? All of these different things. And that just never really happened. So I kind of just like the movie left me feeling very unsatisfied and unimpressed and like there was just so much untapped potential. But maybe this is exactly what some other people wanted and that's great. I'm happy for you if that's what you wanted from this. But really I was left just wondering what could have been with this movie. There are so many just other ideas that I thought of after watching this where I was like, oh, that might have been really cool. That might have been a little bit more interesting. And one of those things would be just two extremes here, something entirely in the real world. So let's say like the portal of the Minecraft world gets opened up and like a villager or Steve just wanders in and the portal closes. So the whole movie is about like this man or villager made of cubes just being lost in the real world, sort of like Jennifer Coolidge's character, her plot line with the villager. What if we just had a whole movie devoted to that? And like, what if it was like, oh, well, this person can like place random blocks. He can build anything. What can he do for our society? And kind of like just a satire of like, what if you could craft anything in the real world? And that would, of course, lend itself to more comedy, I think. But I think that would have been really fun. And personally, I mean, obviously Jennifer Coolidge's parts in this movie were the best parts to me. I actually really did genuinely laugh when she had her scenes in this. She was so good, and I feel like these parts had like some really good comedic moments. And then on the complete opposite end, like something that entirely takes place in the world of Minecraft. Similar to like an animated movie like Flow, where there's no dialogue at all, and it's just sort of like a very quiet movie that's all about exploration and survival and I don't know, finding community in a world that feels very alone. Could have worked really well because if you play Minecraft single player, it's a very isolating feeling, but at the same time, like it is very comforting. And because it's so isolating, it's kind of like the sky's the limit and you can build whatever you want and you don't have to worry about what other people think. So I think that they could have like leaned into that more if they wanted to. And I think with something like that, the animation would just be like almost like it looked like it was being filmed in game rather than trying to have like hyper realistic animation. If they insisted that the movie be kept in this weird, like hyper realistic style, I would suggest that they almost go harder into the silly, campy, stupid territory. I think that this film was, in fact, playing it safe. I think that this could have gone even more over the top. Like I said, I think that there are so many possibilities of exploration and adventure in Minecraft that this movie didn't even scratch the surface with. So, if this style were to be done again, I would say go even further with it, be more unapologetic about it, because really, I was bored by this movie. I'm not trying to sound like a film snob either. Like I said, my expectations for this movie was that it would be something stupid, fun, silly, lighthearted. But at the same time, I was bored by it. I didn't really get like a silly, fun time or anything. I thought that this was very bland and unoriginal and unfun in a lot of ways. And maybe if you're someone who thrives over like internet memes and internet references, maybe you'll enjoy this a lot because of how viral this has gone on the internet and like the effect of Jack Black and like his way of quoting things and his line deliveries and all that. Maybe you'll love it, but I wanted this film to be more than just the meme it was on the internet. And I really don't think it was. I think that this could have done more. For all of these reasons, though, I'm very excited in the prospect of a sequel here. I think that the sequel to this movie could go a lot further into like this campy and silly territory, and even the creative, original territory. I would love to see it do that as well. So yeah, if this movie does really well, which it seems like it'll do really decently, I welcome the idea of a sequel, and I will be there. I will go watch it, and I'll be excited to see where it goes. But ultimately, I cannot recommend this movie for you to see. I do not suggest you go see it. It is against my rules as a reviewer to recommend you to see a movie that suffers so much in quality in simple things such as like green screen and lighting and coming up with an original story, I cannot recommend that you spend your hard earned money to see a movie that has issues as trivial as that, especially for something that is attached to an intellectual property as prestigious as Minecraft, which has a huge company like Microsoft behind it. Microsoft owns Minecraft. And of course, this movie had like so much money attached to it. For a movie with all of those factors going for it to have such trivial issues as this, that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing and that's disappointing. And I don't think that this movie should really be humored um, because of its shortcomings. Like I said, I would love to see what this movie does next. Like if there were to be a sequel, I would love to see what it does. But in and of itself, I think that this movie is quite embarrassing. And I know that this is a kids movie, and you shouldn't have to think about it too much, and it's just meant to be enjoyed and everything. But I think that it is possible for something to be enjoyable, accessible to children, and also really high quality. And I think it's disrespectful and rude to think that just because something is a kids movie means it has to be silly and dumb. I think there are a lot of kids movies that take themselves seriously and that convey serious messages and that are great examples and exercises in originality and creativity. Look at the best animated picture winner from the Oscars last year, Flow. That is a movie that is accessible to children and that takes itself incredibly seriously. And that's also fun to watch. So, for all of those reasons, I cannot recommend this movie for you to see, and I give it the Nicks. I don't not like a Minecraft movie because it's silly or childish or derivative. I don't like it because its quality in a variety of areas is embarrassing, lazy, and disappointing. The story and characters are forgettable, the green screens and lighting are horrendous, and the animation follows suit. There may have been an enjoyable movie buried deep underneath this one, but I could not let myself past the simply awful visuals to find it. For a property as beloved as Minecraft and a movie as seemingly dedicated to its concept of creativity, I am left flat out disappointed. Like I said, I think that it is possible to have a good time with this movie, and I've heard from several people that they had a great time watching this movie. And for that reason, I say, don't take my word for it. You won't know what you think of a movie until you watch it yourself. Don't take my opinion. And I just think that there could have been something more. And even if that would have meant it's like a even more stupid, ridiculous movie, I welcome that. Like, I give me something more stupid, because this just was not even doing that for me. Like, it was almost too sanitized and clean. Um, in that case, I recommend an alternative here. This is I would like to promote this movie instead. Go to the theaters and pay full price to see the new Looney Tunes movie titled The Day the Earth Blew Up. This is, I think it's supposed to be one of like the first hand-drawn like 2D animated projects in years to come out and have like a theatrical release. And this movie was like, talk about silly, stupid, ridiculous, and it was committed to that. Not only that, but it was so funny. It had such a good story and message behind it and everything. And I think I was in a theater and kids were having a great time with it. The Day the Earth Blew Up was a fantastic movie for adults and children alike. And it was just a high quality product that I think everyone should be going to the theaters to support with their money. Everyone, wow, thank you for listening to that. If there's one person you can count on to take a movie way too seriously, it's me. So thank you for sticking with me while I do that. I felt it was my duty as a lifelong Minecraft fan to give my 2 cents. And, I was really excited for this movie at one point in my life, at multiple points in my life. So I wanted to bring it to the show and talk about it a little bit. So if you stayed here to talk about it with me, thank you. I really appreciate you being here. I'm having a great time with this show, and I don't say it enough, but I am so grateful for all of you that are listening and to have just this outlet of a show to come to every few weeks and just talk about like what I want to talk about, which usually happens to be movies and coffee and Twin Peaks and a few other random things. So thank you for being here. I am always grateful for you as audience, and I'm always grateful for this show. And the show would not be a show without you, the audience. So thank you. Thank you. There's no Dear Coffee Nick this week, but if you'd like to send in a letter, please feel free to write any questions, movie reviews, thoughts, opinions, whatevers. Write all of those to coffeenicksmoviepicks@gmail.com, or you could DM them to me on any of my social media platforms. Like I said, thank you so much for listening to Coffee Nick's Movie Picks. Before you go, please be sure to follow the show at Coffee Nick's Movie Picks on Instagram and at Coffee Nick on Blue Sky. There you can stay up to date on everything about the show. If you like what you heard, please rate the show on your podcast app of choice and share the show with your friends, which is a huge help. Please do that. Until next time, the Nether. Thanks again for listening to Coffee Nick's Movie Picks. Our opening theme is The Moondrops, and our closing theme is March of the Hares, both songs by Nathan Moore. Before you go, please be sure to follow the show on social media at Coffee Nick's Movie Picks on Instagram and at Coffee Nick on Blue Sky, and give the show the Nick Pick by rating it 5 stars on your podcast app of choice. Thank you for listening, and see you next time.